Good evening, Neha and Shika. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. How are you?
Good, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
I'm also good. Thank you. So, I think we are done with the chapter, right? The components of food and the sources of food. Am I correct?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
still something is remaining?
Ma'am, we stopped at minerals. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Shreyansh. So, then in that case, we are remaining with the deficiency diseases.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. All right. So, we'll be moving ahead with the deficiency diseases. So, minerals, I think we have discussed what all the different sources are there, different types of the minerals are the we were actually on the cooking of food, like when we cook the food, then what happened, the vitamin which are present in the food also will be getting heated up, and because of that it might taste better, but yes, the minerals will be lost during that time. So that is why we cannot do anything anyhow. We have to cook it in a better way so as to have a good taste also, and we cannot eat them raw. Like if I talk about the bottle gourd, can you eat them raw? We cannot, right? We can boil and then we can have them. But yes, when we talk about boiling and when we talk about making the gravy out of it, that makes a difference. Because boiling, in the case of the boiling, what happens? A less nutrients will be lost. And those nutrients which are lost, that will be in the water only. But when we talk about frying it by adding the masalas and all those things, in that case, the nutrients will be lost completely. Okay, so it's better that we can boil, but yes, the taste will not be that good enough. Okay. Then the next one is like very, very important, which is about the deficiency diseases. So sometimes what happen continuously, we take, one type of the nutrient, but we ignore the other type of the nutrient. So like if Manisha Ma'am is saying to you that Shreyansh, only fat you need to take it, but you should not take carbohydrate and vitamins. Is it okay? No. To Neha, I am saying that Neha, you should take only the vitamins and minerals. You should not take carbohydrate. Is it okay, Neha, for you?
No, ma'am.
And to Nishika, I'm saying, Nishika, only drink water, nothing else. Is it okay?
No, ma'am.
Then you can say, you also can say to ma'am, you should not have anything. Is it not okay, right? It is not okay for me also. So that is why it is important, whatever the nutrients are there, we have to take them whatever the amount is needed. Like in the case of the vitamins and minerals, they are needed in the less amount, we should take it. In the case of the carbohydrate fats, they are required in the large amount, we should take them. Definitely, we should take them. We should not ignore any kind of the nutrients, in our life. So if we are not taking them, then what happened might be there is a condition called as malnutrition, where some of the people you might have seen, the poor people, especially poor children, they will not be getting the proper amount of the intake of the diet, what they actually should get it. So because of that, we might have seen that in their body, on their body, there will be the ribs, which will be, you can see it from outside also. They will be so thin in the health and all that the ribs of them will be visible. Have you seen them? The poor children, the ribs are coming out. You can easily see, right? So that category is known as the malnutrition when they do not get, the balanced kind of the diet. They are always on the unbalanced side where they are taking one kind of the nutrient but ignoring the other kind of the nutrient since they do not have the much money to get it, right? So this malnutrition can be either because of the intake of the insufficient nutrient, or it can be because of the wrong proportion also. Sometimes wrong proportion, like vitamins and minerals are required in less amount, but what we are doing, we are taking them in the more amount. So because of that also, the body can have the negative impact. Mind that is important to have the balanced kind of the diet for that. Okay. So when we talk about deficiency of carbohydrate, what does it cause? Does it create any kind of a problem in our body?
Ma'am, weak.
Hmm?
Ma'am, we are weak. We are gonna be weak.
Correct, correct, Neha. Very good. So what happened ultimately when we are not taking the carbohydrate? So as the carbohydrate are the main source, if we are not taking them, we will feel so weak. The energy will not be there in our body. So lack of energy, our body will result in the lack of energy, and because of that, ultimately we will not be able to do any kind of the work. So weakness will be there, tiredness will be there, the lack of energy will be there. So these are some of the other kind of the Children, just give me a minute. Hmm. Okay. So what happened? There will be like the tiredness will be there, the weakness will be there, then energy will not be there. So most of the energy what we are getting the useful form of energy from the carbohydrate, and since we are not eating them, because of that, these all problems will be there. So now what happens? If we are taking the excess of the carbohydrate, then again the problem will be there. What kind of problem we will be getting if we take extra amount of the carbohydrate in our body? Is there any problem if we take extra amount of carbohydrate in the body? What will happen? Think.
Ma'am, it can lead to obesity.
Okay. It can lead to the obesity. Okay. Any other problem? What will happen? So obesity can lead to further kind of the problem also, which means like heart attack kind of the thing, or heart related problem can be there. Diabetes can be there. Yeah, tell me, Ashiyansh.
Like it can cause problem like our cholesterol will become high now.
Very good, very good. Right, exactly. So cholesterol problem will be there, and ultimately that cholesterol problem can go to the liver also. So extra amount of the fat will be stored in the body because of that. The health issues will be there. So we should not take high amount also. We should not take the less amount also. So whatever the amount is needed, that should be taken into the body. Now coming to the next one, deficiency of the protein. It can cause two types of the problem. One is kwashiorkor and the second one is marasmus. What is the difference between kwashiorkor and marasmus? Are they same? Are they different?
Different, ma'am.
Different. Why?
Ma'am, kwashiorkor is when we have a swelled belly, like protruding belly.
What do we have, Neha?
Ma'am, protruding belly.
Okay, protruding belly region. Okay, okay.
And marasmus is when we don't have enough energy and we are weak.
Okay, so you mean to say in the case of the kwashiorkor, the child or the person will have the bulging kind of the fat of the the stomach especially will be the bulgy or protruding as you're mentioning. And in the second case, in the case of the marasmus, there will be deficiency of the energy. Because of that, the person will be look lean. Am I correct? Yes. Okay. Nishika, any other statement you want to add to this Neha's statement?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll tell you. Basically, when we talk about the kwashiorkor and marasmus, though Neha has given the correct statement, but yes, I will be adding there few lines. When we talk about kwashiorkor, it is related to the deficiency of the protein. When in any body, any child and all, where there is deficiency of the protein, it leads to a disease called as the kwashiorkor. And when we talk about the marasmus, that is because of the deficiency of the proteins, carbohydrates, and fat. So when the person is not taking all these three things, like mean protein, carbohydrate, and fats, then it will lead to the marasmus. And if the person is not taking the protein for the longer time, then it will be leading to the kwashiorkor. Am I clear? That is the difference. So one is for the protein completely, and the other one is for the carbohydrate, proteins, and fats. Then kwashiorkor, in this case, as mentioned by Neha, it will the person have the following kind of a symptom, like the tummy, or we can say, it looks like belly will be looking like a pot like structure, round, huge like structure it will be looking. Then the growth will not be developed. That is called as stunted growth. Stunted means the further development of the growth will not be there. Then the limbs. Limbs means the hands and the legs. Okay. So the hands and the legs together are called as limbs. So they will have the swellings in the hands and the limbs, hands and the legs and all. Then on the skin also, what do they have? They have the patches. The small patches will appear. Mentally retarded. They will be actually, they will not be able to understand what other person is trying to speak or they're trying to say and all. So that is why mentally retarded. Those children will be mentally retarded. So if we are starting, the treatment on time, then definitely that person can come out of it. But yes, definitely if we are not giving the proper treatment, then it can not go actually. We cannot cure them. So if any person has any kind of and this happens, in the children only because children does not take the nutrients in a proper way and all. So proteins are very, very important. If any you see around your region and all, stunted growth, large belly pot-like structure, or the swelling of the leaves. So these are what? These are the main symptoms what you can see and identify. So to cure it, better to have the protein intake so that we will not be getting such kind of the diseases. Whereas in the marasmus, it is caused due to deficiency of protein, carbohydrate, and fats. And then this child will become so lean that the folds of the skin you can see, the skin will be very, very loose. So it becomes like fold. It's like, your mothers will be wearing sari, right? So when take the sari in your hand, then what happens? In between folds will be coming, right? So folds will be coming. Same way, the person who is suffering from the marasmus, their skin will be showing folds. Like now the skin is tight, right? Because I'm eating actually, right? That's why my skin is tight. But if I stop eating, then what happens? The layers will start forming one above the other. So that is what we call as the folding. So on the person's body, the foldings will start appearing, which can be seen all over the body. So that is what happened in the case of the marasmus. So kwashiorkor related to the deficiency of the protein, and marasmus it is related to the deficiency of protein, carbohydrate, and fat. Now, to avoid all these scenarios, you might be knowing, the government has started some of the basic scheme for the poor children. Do you know any kind of a scheme which government they have started?
Ma'am, midday meal scheme.
Very good, Neha. Midday meals, actually. Midday meal that government has started. But okay, they have started. The children were getting benefit. Some of them they are getting benefit, but some of them they are getting the problems also. The reason why, because government they will have budget. Like you might be knowing about the budget. They will be preparing the budget for each and every kind. For this they have to spend this much. For this they have to spend this much. So for this midday scheme also they have planned that they will be spending this much. But what happened in between scenario? There will be so many other people also, right? They will be spending, who is the in charge of that midday meal, what they will be doing, they will be getting the money from the government and spend, instead of spending the complete amount for making the, for giving the food to the poor people, what they will be doing, they will be giving the bad quality of food, not so good quality actually. So like if I talk about the dal, the pulses, the dal should have, the thick kind of thing. It should not be like watery kind of thing. But what do? They add more amount of the water and less amount of the dal, and they save the money. So whatever the money they got it, half of them they will be spending it on the food, and the rest of them they will be keeping it with them. So that is what the government is doing. Exactly not government, but yes, the person who is handling the department is doing that. So it was a scheme which was started by the government of India where uh, the people, the school children were provided the free nutritious food. So though they were not actually good enough to get the food and all, but here they will be getting the free of food. The person who were in the school actually, the children who were in the government school, they used to get it. And still it is going on. It is not like it's over, it is going on. But this has actually, created a positive impact. And the main positive impact was that the attendance started increasing. The attendance of that particular schools and all the government schools started increasing. Why it is so? It is because, this happens with us also. Now, if I say, Nishika, you come to my home, I'll give you two chocolates. So what happens? She'll come. Tomorrow I'll say, now tomorrow I'll say, tomorrow also you come, I'll give you three chocolates. So what happened? She will be okay, ma'am will be giving me chocolate. I should go. Now, if Shreyansh is saying, ma'am, you come to my home, I'll be making pizza for you. What happened? I'll be thinking, oh, Shreyansh will be giving pizza. I should go. So this happens, right? We all have the soft corner for our liking food and all. So starting the midday meal, what happened? Ultimately, the children they liked it actually. They were getting the proper amount of the food, though it was not so good. But yes, something is better than nothing, right? So they were getting the food, and because of that, the attendance started increasing, and they started going to the school. They started loving going to the school. So that was a positive impact what they got through this. And because of this, second problem which was resolved was the malnutrition. So children were now getting the appropriate amount of the food. So they were getting the rice also, they were getting the chapati also, they were getting the dal also, different kind of gravies also, different days they were getting it. So this somehow they help the children, to be on the track and to avoid all the other kind of the different diseases and all. So this was first actually implemented in Chennai in the year somewhere I think 1925. So imagine 1925 it was actually started, and we are in now where 2025. So how many years actually it is running? And now it is implemented all over the India, and the schools are the biggest actually. They are owner of this. They are working on this with the government, and they are doing. So when the budget will come out, they always plan it like this much has to be given to this midday scheme meal to the uh, particular authority who is handling that. So that is what the midday meal scheme. Now the next one is deficiency of water. When we do not take the water, does something will happen?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Ma'am, like our body temperature will increase, ma'am. But
Very
and
okay.
our digestion will like slow down, ma'am.
Good.
And
Digestion will slow down. Okay. Hmm.
no, yes, sir. So main reason, ma'am, will not get hydrated, ma'am, and because of the thirst, we can die, ma'am. So,
Okay. So we are not the camel that we can store the water and we can use
yes, we
it.
need.
Okay. So that's true, right, Shreyan? So what happened, when we do not take the proper amount of the water, then in our body there will be less amount of water. Because of that, the body will get dehydrated. Especially in the summer season, what happens when we do not take the water, dehydration will be there, and because of that, we can faint it. We can faint. It is because our body will get weaken because of the loss of the salt, because continuously we are doing the work but not drinking the water. Because of that, the excess salt what is there in our body will get lost. Extra salt loss means the energy will not be there, so because of that we start getting fainted. For that reason, if any person, sometimes I also sometimes in the summer season we feel so, dehydrated. What they will be doing, our parents, they will be giving us ORS. You might have heard also, right? ORS might have taken also, I guess. So ORS, oral rehydration solution, they will be mixing in the water and they will be giving it to you. Or they can give you the glucose also. Glucose they will be mixing in the water and they will be asking you to drink that. So immediately when you take it, what happens? The amount of the water in your body get increases. So that is why it is important that we have to stay healthy. Now, if you wanted to create the this ORS at home, also you can create it. It's just like a mixing of the sugar, almost like 8 tablespoon of sugar. You can mix with the uh, 1 spoon of the salt. So 8 tablespoon of the sugar mixed with the 1 tablespoon of the salt, and then add 1 liter of the water. So it will be forming the ORS. Generally, in our side, in the North India side, in Delhi, what we do, we always, drink this ORS which is made in home. So though we get the pouches also, the sachets we get it from the market, but generally when we are at the home, we do not go for the pouches and all of the sachets and all. We prepare it. So we'll be taking the 8 spoon of the sugar, 1 spoon of the salt, and then mixing in the 1 liter of the water. And whole day we drink that so as to keep hydrated. So you also, during your summer time, when the summer is at peak, you should also drink that. It will give you a lot of energy. Okay. So it's like, normal water gives you energy, but this is much better than your normal water. But yes, not so much. You should not take it so much, because ultimately what you're doing, you're taking the sugar, right? 8 tablespoons of spoons of sugar, and then 1 tablespoon of salt. So it can have the negative impact also. Okay, so now don't take it much in amount, but yes, whenever it is needed, a sip of it you can take it. You can consume it. Then the last one is deficiency of the vitamins and minerals. So deficiency of vitamins and minerals also will cause us the different problems. So when we talk about the vitamin A, night blindness, the person will not be able to see in the night time, especially, or when it is dim in light, they will not be able to see. And see, it's not important that from the birth that child will not be able to see. It can happen after the birth also. I have seen actually, in my one of my friend, that initially some problem was in the eyes, but she was able to actually see. Okay, but later on, slowly and gradually, what happened? The night time, she was not able to see anything. So we were thinking, might be, it's only for some time. So her parents also ignored that thing, like, she's not able to see anything in the night time. They were just simply for some time and all. And because of that ignorance, she reached to the point that now she has completely lost her eyes. So that is because of the vitamin A she was not taking when she was small. The vitamin A source was not given to her, and because of that, her eyes were already weak. And due to the deficiency of this vitamin A source in her body, the night light was gone first of all, and later on, the complete ignorance, because of that, the complete eyes were lost. So we should not actually, uh, not ignore all such kind of the thing. If some health problem is there, definitely you should, you know, uh, talk to your parents. You should inform them. Be it related to your eyes, be it to your private part, also be it your ears. Also, sometimes what happen, as a girls also, we are not saying all this thing to our parents. But yes, in our body also some other changes happens. So always the parents are the best person, right? To share your feeling or your health problems to them. So definitely do that. Then vitamin D will be causing the problem, which is the berry. In that person will be at getting the weakness, the energy will not be there. Vitamin C will be scurvy, where the gums will start bleeding, the swelling will be there in the gums and all. So this problem actually will take long time to heal, because if when you are small you are getting the appropriate amount of all those kind of the nutrients and all, then no problem. But yes, as you grow up, and then when you try to resolve it, it takes time then. So that is why we have to include all such kind of the vitamin A, B, C, minerals, whatever are there, all has to be included in that. Then vitamin D causes the problem called as the ricket. So in that, what happened? The body will not be able to absorb the calcium, and calcium is the most important mineral if I talk on, right? And if they do not absorb it, if the body is not able to absorb calcium, then the bones, the teeth will not be working properly. The teeth will have the sensation kind of the thing. The bones will be like, you fell down immediately. When you fell down with a small force, your hand will get break or the legs will get break. So that is why it is important that you should always take the calcium and all, and it has to be absorbed by the body. So as like if you fell down also by mistakenly, because in the school it happens, right? You are running, all of a sudden you did not see, you fell down. So it should not be like immediately with a small kind of the jerk and all, you got fracture and all. Your body should be fit and fine to fight with that. So it's very important that it has to be taken care of. Then the iron, if we are not taking, then the problem of anemia will be there. As I told you, like if you uh, in your hand also, if it is white, then deficiency of the iron is there, deficiency of the hemoglobin is there. If it is pink, then you have the good amount of it. Then nails also, if you in the nails you have the white lines or small white patches are there, then deficiency is there. Definitely the calcium deficiency is there. So the those white patches should not be there. And sometimes what happens, some of the person they get it, you know um, the patches on the face also, a small white patches. Sometimes you feel like that is a dry skin. That is not the dry skin, children. Sometimes I when I was small I got it actually, like I used to see like Here also white patch, here also white patch, here also. I thought it is like because of dryness. So I used to apply the cream happily, but later on then I realized no, it's something actually, because continuously after applying such heavy cream, also I'm getting it. So when I visited, then the doctor told me all these things that that is not because of the dryness, that is because of deficiency of calcium. So in that case, we have to take the high amount of the milk in our body, or the eggs we have to take. Then the paneer we can consume it, fishes if we are non-vegetarian. So all those things, will be the good source of the calcium. Then the goiter, if we are not taking the iodine in the proper amount in the body, then there will be the problem in the next region. That next region will start swelling, and because of that, the problem will be there. So that's why we are including the salt in every kind of the food, whatever we eat it. So the salt is a major kind of the component which has actually, the component of the iodine in that. So you might have seen the advertisement also. They will be saying iodized salt. It means the salt which has the iodine in that. And seafood is the best source of the iodine. Okay. So that is about the whole chapter, which is the food, where does it come from, and the chapter components of food. Now, you have any doubt, children, with both the chapters, you can just put forward. And I think Sanjana ma'am has already taken 2 classes, right? So this week, you will not have the class. I'll tell you when and when. Have you joined those 2 classes? What Sanjana ma'am she has taken?
Yes, ma'am.
The last. Okay, Neha is saying yes. Priyansh is saying
I didn't join those 2 classes.
okay, okay. Let me tell you when you don't have the classes now. Mm, your class Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday, you have actually the class of science with Sanjana, right? But she has already taken last week, so this week you are not going to have it. And coming Monday, I am not available. So from Wednesday onwards, I will not be available. So Monday, I will not be there for the class. So in that case, I will be arranging Sanjana ma'am. Okay, Monday she will be taking the class. So she will be back on Sunday. So Monday, let her take it because I will not be available complete for a week. All right. And maths classes will be going on as usual. Wednesday, Thursday, let me see if I can arrange maths class. Okay. So instead of science class, though it was already done by Sanjana ma'am, but if maths ma'am is free, I'll ask her to take it. Is it okay, children, if she takes the class, maths ma'am, Neha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then let me try. If she is free, then I'll definitely ask her to take the class on Wednesday or Thursday, or any one day also is okay for me. If she can take 2 days, okay. If not, at least one day, let me request her to take it. And on Monday, I am not available, but yes, Sanjana, I'll be asking to take my class. And once I'll come back, then I'll be starting with a new chapter. Any chapter, whatever you suggest, I'll be starting with. So which chapter do you want me to start the next now?
Ma'am,
Body.
body movements.
Okay, we can start now also because still we have somewhere 10 minutes. So when we talk about the body movements, it's a very, very interesting chapter. I never actually, I think, taught that chapter, but the theory part. I always ask my kids to tell me how it is actually. So if I talk about the pivot, where it is present,
Ma'am, in the neck region, the spine.
how the movement will be there,
Ma'am, side to side and up and down.
right? Neha, you should turn on your video now. Okay, we'll be playing an activity. Joints we will be learning by doing this activity. Okay, very small activity. So I'll just explain you first of all what you need to do is. So talking about the pivot joint as mentioned by Neha. So this next region we will have the pivot joint where we can actually move it left, right, up and down. Okay, left, right, up and down. We cannot rotate it to the one 360-degree angle. Okay, don't try that also. The second one, we have the ball and socket joint, which is present in our here, the shoulder region, and we can do the movement which is 360-degree angle. Am I correct? Okay. Third point, now coming to the third one, that is the pelvic joint. So the pelvic joint is present in the hip region, basically the place where we sit it, right? We will be folding our legs and then we will be sitting it. So the between the thigh region, between thigh region and the lower abdomen region, there is a joint which is called as the pelvic joint. Then the last one is the hinge joint, which is present either you can say here in the elbow region or either in the knee also it is present. Okay. Now you all need to stand it, and whatever joint I am saying it, you have to do it all together. Maybe I'll start with one joint, but I will be mixing it two, three together. Understood? If I say hinge joint, you should do like this. Keep on doing like this. If I say hinge, along with the hinge, if I am saying you pelvic, then you should sit also. Understood? And third one, if I am adding it to the pivot, then you should. Okay? So according to the joint, you have to do the movement. That is what the body movement is. Okay? Okay. So we will start with a very simple one. That is the pivot joint. Yes, yes, right? Yes, 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 yes. So no, Neha is saying no, no, no. Okay, Shanti is also saying no, no, no. Okay, along with pivot, we can have the pelvic also. Along with the pelvic now, along with pelvic pivot, now we can have the ball and socket also. Right. So along with this now, can we have the hinge also? That is called as madness actually. Right, so all together. So it's very actually, this chapter is now I think we can stop with all the joints. So this chapter has different kinds of the joints. I think I'll not be moving, with a simple kind of the joints. I'll be teaching you some other different joints. Okay. I think you might have heard about abduction. Have you heard the word abduction? Shansh, you're saying yes or no? Tell me, what does it mean?
I don't know the meaning, but I have heard somewhere.
Okay. Okay. So such different kinds, like, when we raise our hand like this, when we come back like this, what it is called as. That kind of movement also I'll be teaching. Okay. Maybe in the next class, let me start with that. So hinge joint, pivot joint, ball and socket, they are the basic kind of a joint what you're learning. But you should know something, which you are not aware of. So if we are raising hand, we are bringing it back, what is called as. Then we are raising the legs, we are bringing it back, what kind of movement it is called as. Such movement names I will be, teaching you. Those movement, basically, the dancers will be using it, right? They will be saying, like, do this movement. So they will have a specific word actually, abduction, reduction, all those kind of things. Such words I'll be teaching. And then once we are done with this, then we'll be moving to the other animals movement also, where we will be discussing how the fish moves, how the snails they move, how the earthworm they move. So such different move.
Expansion.
Contraction and expansion also. What happened? The contraction and expansion.
Ma'am, when we are moving our hand, ma'am, or like just stretching it, ma'am, so some of the muscles contract and other expand, ma'am. That only lets our body move, ma'am. Or like we cannot.
That has happened because of what kind of the muscle?
Uh,
The contraction and relaxation, it happens because of some of the muscle which is there. Nishika and Neha, do you know what are the muscle they are called as? Which lead to the movement.
Biceps and triceps.
Very good. Biceps and the triceps, right? So biceps and the triceps are there, which are because of which the contraction and relaxation will be there, and it results in the movement. Okay. So all these things we will be discussing maybe in the next class. Let me start with this chapter. And the basic things you already know, that 206 bones will be there. In the small kids, there will be almost more than 300, 350 bones will be there. But as soon as they grow it, what happens? The small, small bones, they will start fusing together. They will start joining together and all. Then what is the main function of the skeletal system? The framework should be there. They give support to our body. Then important organs, they will be protecting it. So these are the basic things what you have already studied, right? So instead of going into that, I'll be going to something different, which is about the movement. And once I complete this, then I'll be going to the chapter, the living organism and their surrounding. And in living organism and their surrounding, I will not be going to what is breathe, what is respiration, what is excretion. I will be going to the examples of them. Okay. Like if any surrounding, like grasslands, in the grassland, what animals do survive there? Then when we talk about the arboreal, who are the arboreal
Mom, the
animals?
animals who live in trees.
On trees, right? So the animals, very good. Yeah. So the animals who live on trees, they are called as arboreal, and aerial
Mom, in the air.
in the air. And always, I think we all are in the air only, right? With high attitude.
No, ma'am.
No, that's right. We don't have, see how normal we are, right? We always enjoy. That's good. So arboreal, aerial, what are the features what help them to have such kind of the quality to be in the air or be to be on the trees and all? What makes them? It's not like in actually it is happening. It is because of certain reason. Or you might have heard also, like earlier times the giraffe, the height of the giraffe was not so tall, right? Have you heard this? The height of the giraffe was not tall, but slowly and gradually, when the food around them, which was the grass, it started disappearing. Because of that, what they should do? They have to rely on the trees. They should get their food from the trees. And because of that, they started jumping like this. They started, crawling, stretching their neck like this. And ultimately, generation by generation, when they did that process of, stretching their neck after so many years, the giraffe which was born, it was with a long understood. So earlier there were so many grass were there, they were feeding on that. Because of that, their neck was not tall. They do not require it because easily they were getting the food from the grass. But since so many giraffes were there, all the grasses got over, and ultimately now they have to get the food from the trees. And trees are actually tall, right? Because of that, they did the continuous stretching of the neck, and after so many generations, whatever the giraffes came out, they were with the long neck. And that long neck giraffe, they give birth to the another long giraffe neck. Then like this, they multiplied, and now we have what? The long neck giraffes only, rather than the shorter one, because shorter one got disappeared now. Okay, so this all things happen because of some reasons. It's like cutting off the nails. Your parents will be saying, don't cut the nails in the night time. It is not good thing and all. But exactly what was the reason? It was the reason that in the earlier time, our grandparents' time, the electricity was not there. So that is why in the sun time, sunny time and all, during sun time itself, they will be cutting the nails because they have to use a knife or they have to use some other kind of the instrument to cut it. There were no nail cutter during the time. So they thought it some negative things will happen if we cut the nails in the night time, and that is why they are not letting us to do it now also, right? So there was
Ma'am, same with that one also, ma'am, that if cat crosses our road, we should not go forward. Ma'am, that is because, ma'am, when in old age, ma'am, we used to have vehicles, ma'am. So we used to travel on bullock carts and all, ma'am, with animals. So because of the guys will have like their eyes will shine in the dark, ma'am. So the bulls used to think they are tigers and they can attack us. So they used to
correct.
run. Not any spirit is there which is not letting them.
That's what actually each and everything, the superstitions we are following it. That does not have any kind of, the logic to follow. But yes, we are following since our parents they are saying it. But there is no scientific reasons behind all these kind of the things. And we should not wash the hairs on, especially the girls. We should not wash the hairs on Tuesday, Thursday, and I think Saturday also. We should not do that. And what happened? We wanted to wash only on during those days. So when I still actually after getting married also, if I do, if I wash it on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, my mother-in-law will be at the back of me. How come you have washed it? I said no, right? So that is what actually happened. So we have to follow it. We cannot argue. We cannot say anything. But yes, there is no scientific, reason behind it. So, okay, we'll be learning all such kind of the things in the upcoming classes. And Wednesday and Thursday, if the class is there, you will be getting the message as a reminder on the same day, which is on Wednesday and Thursday morning. And if the class is not there, then you will not be getting any message, okay? Because already we are done with those classes. And Monday, my class will be taken care by Sanchana. Okay, children, then thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Baba. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.